Man, so they mentioned Black American culture, racism, lineage, reparations. Kevin Samuels popped up, and they mentioned ADOS. Oh, there's so much to talk about, and I'm here for it. My name is Brandon Keith Avery, and this is just my opinion. Hey, what's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Just My Opinion for my Atlanta Season 3, Episode 9, titled Which Wigger Po Wigger? Black and white episode, yawn. Emmy bait, why do they hate black women so much? I really do love Donald Glover with these descriptions because he knows that people are kind of like watching the show. I'm like, man, what the hell is up with Atlanta? I like it. I like the story and the characters, but sometimes it's so random. So I kind of feel he's trolling us with that. But guys, just let you know that this is going to be a spoiler-filled recap. I'm going to spoil this episode up, down, left, right, in, and out, as if you've already seen it, so you have been warned. And if you happen to like the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, helping me reach my next milestone of 40,000 subscribers. And if you would like to follow me on social media, all of that information is down in the description box below for you to check out at your own leisure. Now, we'll go ahead and say, guys, that this is the first time I've ever covered Atlanta on my channel. And beyond any shadow of a doubt, I can honestly say with no hyperbole, with no exaggeration, that this is not only my favorite episode of the entire season, but this is my favorite of the entire show, the entire series. I really got to give it to Donald Glover and the team for putting this together, because I believe they knocked this one out of the park. There was so many things that resonated with me in this episode, and I cannot wait to talk to you about it. Starting out with the title of this episode, Which Wigger Po Wigger. Now, if you don't know what wigger means, it is basically a white person that acts like a black person or black culture, and you really can't sum up blackness in one thing, of course, since we're not a monolith. But an actual definition is wigger is a term for a white person of European ethnic origin who emulates the perceived mannerisms, language, and fashions associated with African American culture, particularly hip hop. And the main actor that was portraying this role right here is a gentleman I've never heard of before by the name of Tyreek Withers. Have you heard of him before? I haven't. This is my first time ever seeing him. And he did a great job in this episode. I'm on IMDb right now looking at his filmography. He has 8 credits right here. And so that's pretty cool right there. If you have seen any of his past projects right here that are on the screen, please let me know what you think, and if they're any good, if they're worth checking out, because I think that this brother right here, or this gentleman, whatever you want to call him, Tyreek Withers, Withers and Wigger, that's interesting, but I think this brother right here did a great job, and let me know if you do agree and disagree. And when I saw the trailer for this episode, I was like, man, it's in black and white. I don't know if I'm just going to really like it or not, but it really did enhance the episode when it got to the center part, and I can't wait to talk about it. But this starts off with Mr. Aaron in his bedroom playing video games. He's in the Logan Paul. He has that jersey up on the wall. He's playing some type of first-person shooter, which apparently are some black guys on the other end of the video game. And I even believe he's winning, but he does not like the way that they are talking to him. And, they're talking about his mother and all this stuff, but he just takes it beyond and just wants to call them niggers and say that they're monkeys and need to go get bananas and all that. They ask where he's at, like, hey, well, why don't you say this to my face? Because I'm very curious about that, I haven't not been into video games in quite some time. It's been about 20 years since I've really been into video games. And it wasn't the same then that it is now with all this online play. But apparently I've heard nothing that is just about the niggas and disparaging names and porch monkeys and terrible stuff. And so that's at the very beginning of this episode. I'm like, oh, okay, Aaron, tell me how you really feel. You're getting frustrated and you want to burn up everybody with flamethrowers. And that's quite interesting, flamethrowers, because they may come circle back around towards the end of this video. But, he's upset. He gets a text message from his girl, Tait, talking about how he got into college. And the black people, I'm like, I want to know, are you going to have this much bass in your voice if you was talking to these black people face to face in person? Most likely not, but they asked for the address. He's like 12345 FU Avenue. Oh, okay. And he want to sit there and throw a little temper tantrum. But that's all right there. We know how he really feels, especially in the next part of this episode where he's riding in the car with his dad to school because he missed the bus, and it's a 4-mile walk or jog, if his dad didn't give him a ride. And it's quite interesting. I'm like, okay, this is a white dude right here. He clearly doesn't like black people because he's calling them niggers on the video game, but his dad is black. And I'm like, wait a minute, okay, is your daddy black and your mama white? But I'm looking at his hair and I'm like, no, I think he's all white. So I don't really understand the relationship. Maybe, you know, he's adopted or something like that. You guys can let me know in the comment section, or, you know, beat me up if you want to. But I was not able to pick that up right there. But he's trying to get a car from graduation. He's also trying to get his dad to help him out with co-signing on some loans so he can go to ASC with his girl and all that. But his dad's like, no, you know, if you're still living here when you graduate, you're gonna be paying rent and all this. I'm not co-signing nothing. I'm not doing no loans. Can I get a car? You know, and then he asked him about the 15-year-old boy that was shot at Lennox Mall, or that was on the radio. And his racist ass want to try to excuse the death. Talking about, well, he probably did something to warrant it anyway. Cops say freeze all the time. Why didn't he just stop? No, okay, so you calling black people niggas on the game. You're excluding black death right here. And look, I don't care if you resist arrest or not. Resisting arrest is not a death sentence, okay? Like, who says that? And white people resist arrest all the time, and they get the cuffs put on, and they get taken in jail. They attack cops. Black people ain't just out here attacking cops and killing cops. And there's a story of a man that tried to go arrest the sheriff because he didn't like her because she was a woman. And they was able to apprehend him without shooting him to death. But, you know, hey, if we got some Skittles and a 7-Up in our hand or whatever, you know the story. And, I mean, the story's told a million times. But this dude is trying to just excuse death right here, and it's quite interesting that his daddy didn't check him. You know, I kind of wish he would have, you know, but he dropped him off at school, and Aaron goes in and he meets up with Kate, and that, oh, hey, we got into ASC, and he, you know, she trying to talk to him about the scholarships and stuff like that, and he kind of blowing her off. And it's very, very obvious. And he feeling some type of way because he can't get into the school. But this is where things really start to get good right here, because they get an announcement over the intercom, say, hey, all the graduating seniors, please come into the auditorium. We have a presentation for you. And they go in there, and they like, what the hell is going on? Let's go play Dutch. Let's go play hooky. My fault, y'all. Let's go play hooky. But the principal comes out there and be like, hey, guys, I was out and about having a little luncheon, and I met this guy, and he is an alumni, and I want to bring him out here because he has something to say. Come to the stage right now, Mr. Robert Shea Lee. And who is it, y'all? It is Mr. Kevin Samuels himself. What? Kevin Samuels, what are you doing in Atlanta? I know you live in Atlanta, but man, Donald Glover came through and wanted you to be part of the episode. And my brother, I think you did a great job. And it's just so sad and unfortunate that you are no longer with us. You passed away, I think on May 5th. And that's just unfortunate. It was unexpected. You know, some people liked him, some people hated him. I listened to a few of his videos when he first popped up about a year ago for me. He was probably around much longer than that, but that's when I discovered him. But if you don't know what the gentleman looks like, here he is right here. He had a large following on YouTube and Instagram and another number of podcasts. He was known for his controversial honesty when it comes to men and women and dating. You know, because he talked about men and women. And a lot of women right now don't like him. I'm just going to say this. I didn't listen to everything the man said. I was like, okay, you know, I'm just not going to give him that much credibility. But at the same time, there were some things that he said that I do agree with, and there were some things that he said that I don't agree with. And that just goes for everybody, and I'll just leave it right there. But if you know who Kevin Samuels is, you know who Kevin Samuels is. But he was in the episode. He was Mr. Robert Shea Lee. And I didn't even know he was an actor. I mean, he's on right here. There's no picture, but on IMDb, Kevin Samuels was an actor known for Intellectual Scum in 2015. He died on May 5th, 2022 in Atlanta, Georgia. And so that's just really unfortunate right there. But rest in peace, my brother. Rest in peace. But I will say that he did a phenomenal job in this episode. I'm like, I didn't know he did a great job in acting. I didn't know that, you know, he was an actor. And it's just funny. His name is Robert Shea Lee. Robert Shea Lee. Robert S. Lee. That reminds me of Robert E. Lee. And of course, we all know who Mr. I don't even call him Mr. The evil white supremacist Robert E. Lee. He was an American Confederate general who led the South in the Civil War. Evil, evil man. And so it's just interesting that you got Robert E. Lee and then Robert Shea Lee or S. Lee. And they're talking about, you know, reparations and lineage and all that we're going to be talking about in a second. But it's like, hey, I was alumni here. You know, this school right now is called Stonewall Jackson. If you don't know Stonewall Jackson was another evil racist white supremacist that was a Confederate general commander in the Civil War right after Robert E. Lee. So he wants to change the school from Stonewall Jackson High School to Robert Shaley High School, which reminds me of Robert E. Lee High School. And so this is kind of interesting to me how all that kind of just tied in together right there. But he wants to pay the school $1 million. He also wants to change the name of the school and give all the graduating seniors who are black pay for their college tuition. And all the black people are happy. And I'm happy too, like, yeah, go ahead and get your baby reparations. Even though I know that's not even remotely close to what the real value is. But he was like, hey, if you black, come back into the gymnasium at 4 o'clock, I got you. All the white people mad, black people up on the roof dancing and twerking, and dancing on Tik Tok, shaking their ass, and I would have been doing that too, you know what I'm saying? I'm finna graduate, go to college, and this dude wanna pay for my whole tuition? Hell yeah, turn up the boombox. And who says boombox anymore? Do they even make boomboxes anymore? Don't kill me in the comments. But I would have been popping and locking and all that too, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, in your face, all that. You know, let me stop before I drop my notes or whatever. But it was funny, you know, and the white people mad over there talking about, oh my God, black people they have it so easy. My homegirl dated a guy and he got a full ride with all his scholarships and he's only going to be in school for a year and then go to the NBA. And now you can't just say this out loud, but it's just so easy for black people to get in school and blah, 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 and I got to stick up my ass. Now, Aaron over here, he was just talking about, well, it's not the same for if you're black and you're poor. And that is true too. It is much harder, but they don't like it. It's just crazy to me. White people, y'all have gotten every advancement, every privilege, every acknowledgement, every loan, every grant, every inheritance. And these select black people get this one thing and y'all butt hurt. Y'all don't know how to act. Y'all talking about y'all want to screw is discrimination. Talking about, oh, this reminds me of the 1950s. And then that's where the impact of the black and the white of the episode comes in. And it just started hitting much harder to me. And I'm like, oh, let's see how you guys act when the tables have turned, you know. And when they go back into the school, they have all these additions with just so-called black culture because it's an addition. And I'm just like, wow. And the interesting thing is what Donald Glover is doing right here is he is conflating all of these ideals of blackness and throwing it into one episode. And he's doing that on purpose, not to cause confusion. He just wanted to get the conversation going, get the discussion going. And I really respect him for that. But on the stoop, on the stairs, you got black people doing this, well, not black people, but people doing this of what everybody perceives as black culture. And this just represents how people love black people in America. They do love us, but they love us like we're their pets. They love us like we're their dogs, you know. And they hate us, but they love our culture. They love black people. They hate black people, but they love our culture. And that was just kind of representative to me right there. They had some R&B. They had this other guy with the basketball thing on. With the jersey, with the little Nickelodeon rim. And then Aaron comes there, he's talking to this one guy. I don't know if he was Asian or Hispanic, I couldn't tell, especially because it was black and white, but also he had a do-rag on, talking about, can I get a wave check? I'm just like, wow. And he was like, he looked up this guy. And he says that he doesn't feel that ADOS necessitates blackness, but it's about black culture. And that is, that's true to a degree. But ADOS stands for American Descendants of Slaves, which stems from the descendants of American slaves. And you can look that up if you want. But here is the website right here, ADOSfoundation.org. This has changed a bit from when it launched a few years ago, I believe in like 2016 or 17. It was ADOS101.com. And they had it broken down on what the difference is between a black agenda and reparations. And guys, there is a difference, and I can explain that to you. And everything that I'm about to say right now, this is not the gospel. I'm not speaking in the absolutes or trying to come to any conclusions. I'm not saying that this is I'm right and you're wrong and this is the end all be all. And if you disagree with me, you can kick rocks. No, if you have the facts, if you have the history, if you have the data, let's learn, educate it together, because this whole lineage thing, reparations, it is a very multi-layer, multifaceted discussion that's going to take a long ass time to sort out all the details. But anyway, a black agenda and reparations are two different things. A black agenda is what black people get in exchange for a vote politically. Reparations is a debt that is owed to certain people. Now, a black agenda, that covers all black people in America, whether you're black American, Haitian, Jamaican, Nigerian, Ghanaian, Kenyan, South American, Egyptian, whatever. If you're black, we got you. If the Republicans and Democrats, whatever, they want us to vote for them, we're like, okay, if you want us to vote for you, we're tired of not getting nothing for our vote. So if you want us to vote for us, here's our black agenda. It takes care of all the black people. So I don't want nobody saying that black people are leaving other people out. No. Now, the reparations is a debt that is owed to the descendants of the slaves that built the richest country in the world. That's where I fall in. And I'll get to another point in a second. And I'll just go ahead and say that, well, no, I'll say this part right here. I was on Twitter a couple of weeks ago, and I saw a black woman. I don't remember her name. And she said something that was very incorrect to me. She says that black Americans feel that they're the only people that deserve reparations, that it should only be them. Now, she could be one of two things. She can either be an agent of chaos, just trying to cause as much confusion as possible all across the land. And guys, part of white supremacy code is to cause as much confusion as possible in all areas of activity, or she could just not know any better. I hope it's the latter. I try to give her the benefit of the doubt. But ma'am, if you really feel that way, that is 100% false. It is 100% untrue. Black Americans do not feel that we're the only ones that deserve reparations. Our reparations claim has nothing to do with anybody else's. Us going after reparations is not stopping you from doing anything. If you or anybody else in the world feels like you deserve reparations for some injustice, go for it. We're not stopping you. Go for it. File a claim. If you need our help, ask. But what are you getting mad at us for? Because we're going after something that we're owed. We're not saying that you're not owed anything. I'm just saying, like, if you have two people that work for a company and it comes payday and our paycheck is not deposited into our account, I'm going to go to HR. I'm going to go to payroll and be like, hey, why didn't I get my money? If you didn't get your money either, would you go to me and be like, hey, B, I didn't get my money. Can you go to payroll and ask what happened? Or would you go to payroll yourself? Now, again, I'm not trying to talk in absolutes. I'm not trying to say what my words are the end all be all. I just don't understand that mindset. If somebody would like to break it down to me and we can have a discussion and have a better understanding with each other, have a dialogue, I'm completely open to that. And, you can't really have a conversation on Twitter. But when I heard it, I said, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense at all to me. It just doesn't. Like, and first of all, and they didn't even necessarily talk about reparations in the episode, but when I'm hearing all these keywords, this is all what's coming to my mind, which makes the episode so brilliant to me. And I'm saying it's like, even with Black Americans, we have multiple claims that we need to go after. And some groups like ADOS is just doing one at a time. I know they know that because I've had to call into the show once a couple of years ago and had the conversation myself. But anyway, one of them is what's owed to us by the American government, the foreign nations that owe us money, and the 1866 Indian treaties. And again, that has nothing to do. I mean, we are going, Black Americans. One of the claims is we're going after, because talking about ADOS, because the guy mentioned ADOS. We have a specific justice claim because our ancestors built the richest country in the world and we were not paid for it. And the money that is still circulating in the money that was generated from slavery is still circulating in the economy today in 2022, and the American government made it illegal for us to possess it. That's BS. We're at the minimum of 13% of the population, but we own like 2% of the nation's wealth. No, that is BS. That's crap. And so again, when the dude said Eddie West, all this just started popping off in my head. I'm just like, oh my God, I love this. But he was like, and he said that Kevin Samuels said this. And again, I don't know if that's true or not. Kevin Samuels is not here to defend himself. Again, rest in peace, my brother. But I don't think Donald Glover was doing it anyway. I think he's just conflating all these ideas because he's trying to get the conversation going like I'm doing myself. Which is great. And then the guy was like, a wave check. And the thing, also just real quick, I've heard arguments just talking about like, well, the only difference between these black people here is that, these black people was dropped off in this body of land, and this body of land. I don't agree with that. The reason is the Black Americans that was dropped off here, we built the richest country in the world. It didn't just pop up out of nowhere, and we're owed that debt. To my understanding, nobody else was here. And the reason why I said it is, like, okay, the Immigration Act wasn't signed until 1965, and then the large influx of black immigrants didn't come to the country until the 1980s. Where did I get that information? The Smithsonian does have research on that, and the Pew Data Research Center. I think they did a report back in 2015 that says that the black immigrants that were in America during its building was less than 1%. Now, of course, if you're a part of that lineage, hey, you get the reparations too, but it doesn't mean that you're getting left out from the black agenda if you're not a part of that. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a historian. I am just explaining this to where I understand it at this point, knowing that there's so much more to this that I need to learn and grow. So again, if you have the data, facts, and the research, let's learn and grow together. I'm not coming to any conclusions right here and saying I'm Brandon know-it-all. Again, it may sound that way if I get excited, but I just want to clarify. But all that came to my mind when I heard this man talking about ADOS. And sorry, I keep looking over here because this is my second time trying to record this recap. The first time I did it was a 37-minute video and everything crashed and I have to start over. So I'm just checking and making sure that doesn't happen again. I'll probably have to edit this part out. But then the George Wallace calls me and I'm like, hey, yeah, Redbone, you next. You come in there. And your boy George Wallace, actor, comedian, I love this guy right here. He's very, very funny to me. OG, born in 52 in Atlanta, Georgia as well. I forgot that he was in Batman Forever. That's crazy. But, you know, here's his filmography right here. I like this guy. I recently was looking at a video of him on YouTube, one of his stand-up gigs, and he was talking about how he hates Morgan Freeman. It was hilarious. And probably like, B, why are you loving a hater or whatever? I'm like, no, it was funny. It was a joke. You have to see it. But when they come in here, and when it's George Wallace and Kevin Samuels, you know, they're like, you know, they ask them questions and talking about, so how long can kitchen stay on the stove? What soda is good for you? Bobby, Whitney, or Will and Jada? How many things can mix with Hennessy? All this just silly random stuff that's just like hilarious to me. And old dude is getting, you know, he answering the questions. Oh, he just answering the questions. George Wallace is he making up shit right now. And they just kind of giving him a hard time. And he's really trying to audition to be black. Like all these people lined up outside. And it's just interesting to me. Like it's so convenient for you. And white people have been doing this in this country for the duration. You hate us, but you love our women. You hate us, but you love our culture. You hate us, but when we finna get $5 deposited to our bank account, you know, you want to turn into a $5 Indian, the culture appropriate, you know, do the wave check and and all this stuff. Aaron, you evil, man. You want to exclude the death of the 15-year-old boy that got shot at Lennox Mall. You want to call black people niggas and monkeys and get bananas at the beginning of the episode. But now you want to be black and get your tuition paid. No, it don't work like that, homeboy. You're not my homeboy. It don't work like that, dude. It don't work like that. And that's just another representation of how just countless things are always stolen from black people. And so they even stole the color out this episode. You know what I'm saying? They're stealing everything. And that's why it's in black and white, because the white supremacists stole it. But no, they said to him, like, man, you not black. And Josh like, you not black, you white. You white. Well, my dad's black. Kevin same as Robert Shea Lee talking about, well, go get your daddy and tell him to come in here. And he can get the scholarship. But he mad. He goes home telling his daddy that he wants to sue. Just mad. Just butthurt. Again, white people don't receive everything, but they mad that they can't get this. They're mad that they can't get that, and they just frustrated. And it's frustrating me seeing it. But then he getting the phone, Katie, he's seeing her flirting with black men on the Instagram, and she liked the status or whatever. He gets livid. She breaks up with him. Saying, I know that you don't got no money. I know you're broke. You're poor and you're white, whatever. This dude gets mad, and like all white people or suspected white supremacists, this dude goes into his bedroom and just builds a flamethrower out of nowhere. Like, how the hell you learn to do that? What that YouTube video at? You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. And they're just really convenient, you know? But he wants to go up here and burn down the school, burn down this motherfucker. And this is so interesting to me, guys. This is how the episode just circles back around. Because you got your boy Felix from Nigeria that comes up as well with a flamethrower too. This also represented to me that, hey, we can do everything that you can do. And he, at one point, Felix was like, hey, I had to build this behind a dumpster in an alley and had to walk up her. You probably just rode the bus or walked up her. La, I got a flamethrower and nobody's a fucking flamethrower. He can just walk up there. I don't think his dad gave him his car. Maybe he did walk 4 miles. I just thought about that. With a flamethrower, that just reminds me of Dylan Roof. They can just run by the cops with an assault rifle and nothing, or any white person can walk down the street with a shotgun, assault rifle, a bazooka. Didn't a white man have a bazooka in the George Floyd protest? And nothing was said? Really? Wow. White privilege. But you mad because black people gonna get a scholarship. But anyway, I love this conversation right here. He was like, Aaron was like, hey, you're not, you didn't get the scholarship as well. He's like, no. You know, he's like, I'm Nigerian. I was born over there, but I don't even remember. And he's like, I get it. You know, you have your own native country to go back to and your culture to lean on and all that. So yeah, you're not black, which is ridiculous. And you know, because all black people are not the same. We're not a monolith. And you know, Nobody, and also Donald Glover is throwing this conversation there because some people feel like they can measure somebody else's blackness, which is silly. We're not going to have that conversation. But Felix is like, man, I'm blacker than you. What the hell are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? Like, all that doesn't matter. And I agree with that. I agree with that. And that's just another thing with Black Americans. Like, we're our own special, unique group because we don't have our country. We don't have a country of origin necessarily. We have to share our country with the people that hate us the most, the richest country in the world. We don't have a Haiti or Jamaica or South America or Nigeria or Kenya or Ghana to go to. We have to share our country. A lot of these African countries do not offer dual citizenship, while a lot of these other people can bounce back and forth. And that's just quite interesting. And so people get mad at Black Americans because, like, we don't have our own country. So we want to claim our own lineage in the land that we built, and you want to say that's divisive? So just think about that. So if you're Black, but you're not a Black American, and you say that you're, how would you feel if you was like, hey, I'm Jamaican, I'm Haitian, I'm Nigerian, and I come to you be like, no, don't say you're Nigerian, that's divisive. Say that you're Black. You're going to look at me like I'm crazy. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? That's my culture, that's my lineage, that's my nationality, that's my country. So why is it that when we do that, we're divisive in our own country? That doesn't make any sense. Stop it. But anyway, going back to Aaron and Felix, it was great because they were, he tried to make a joke and Felix tried to burn his ass up. And this circles back to the very beginning of the episode to where Aaron was playing a first-person shooter, going around burning them up with a flamethrower, and now he's getting burnt up. And I have to say, this is one of the most entertaining things I have seen in quite some time. I've never seen a black man, a dark black man, chasing a white man with a flamethrower in television or movies. So I was at the edge of my seat, imagining that I was eating popcorn. I'm like, damn, this is crazy. And it was like a horror movie. And I was like, Aaron, that's what your ass get. You know what I'm saying? And I was wondering, I was like, is Felix the one that was in the video game? I don't remember if the voices were the same. You guys can help me out with that if you do remember. But I was like, are they the same people? But I don't think so. I could be wrong. I could be incorrect right there. But that was just funny. And, he was like, this is where black people eat or meat. And then they get shot. And I'm like, no. Why are you shooting him, Donald? Like, no, he needs to live. He doesn't need to die. He needs to live. And I was pretty hurt by that for just a little bit. But he ends up living. And Kevin Samuels comes and runs out there telling me, oh, you're trying to burn down my school? And that was the only part that was kind of, the acting was kind of like cringe-worthy to me right there. But other than that, I thought Kevin Samuels did a great job in that part of the episode. But he's like, hey, man, getting shot in America is one of the blackest things that you can possibly do and possibly be. And I was like, that's what's up. He's like, hey, take him to White Grady, give the paramedics some stacks. Talking about, we're going to take care of your medical bills. And here goes the scholarship check. He just got it ready. Right then, I just found that funny. And then Aaron, is in the back of the police car and goes off while Felix is taken care of. So that was a nice little funny, goofy ending right there. But then it's a year later, and I guess that Aaron is in some type of electronics store. I'm thinking like Best Buy or something, but it was no names. But he appropriating and wiggering it up totally. He got the haircut, the earrings, the herringbone necklace, the swag, all that. He got the brush trying to get the waves. Ain't no waves up there at all. That is the stillest water. It might as well be ice up there because ain't no waves. It was ice. I was laughing, but his old girl Kate comes up, and the way he played it was so cool. Like, hold on. And he was like, hey, go up there, holler to David about my discount. You gonna text me, right? I'm like, okay, I like the way he, like his swag or talking to women. That was cool. I liked that a lot. That was pretty nice right there. But she's shocked. He's like, what happened to you? They're trying to catch up, and she don't know what to do. And he put them lines on her. I ain't never been more attracted to before you in my life. And she's like, oh my God, my knees are weak. Jaws. And I'm like, yeah, he does like this and looks at the camera. And that's how the episode ends. I'm just like, guys, did he get the draws one more time? I'm going to vote yes. I am going to vote yes. I think he got the draws at least one more time. You guys let me know what you think. But yeah, this was a great episode. I absolutely loved it. Like I said, we got your boy Kevin Samuels in here, man. He just passed away. And it's unfortunate that he was not able to see the reaction that audiences are going to give him from popping up. I also love George Wallace in here, man, as well. He did a great job. And also Tyreek Withers. Great job. This Donald Glover, again, this is my favorite episode of the whole season, the whole series. And so 2 thumbs up right there, my brother. And guys, that is just my opinion. And I want to thank you so much for tuning in. If you liked the video, please go ahead and give me the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Helping me reach my next milestone of 40,000 subscribers. Reasons why you will want to subscribe to my channel is, let me show you. I have movie reviews right here. We just did a Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness spoiler review. It's about to hit 10K views. But the non-spoiler review, Doctor Strange, I got a weekly movie news roundup show. Again, I'm covering Atlanta right here. We Own the City, Halo, Young Justice, and I just wrapped on Moon Knight. But guys, again, I just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that my name is Brandon Keith Avery, and that's just my opinion. Peace.